Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Selby Farm Estates, where today we are doing a corn harvest. We're in our Case IH Axial Flow 9230. We're going to bring the man tipper over here in time, and we are going to harvest as much of field 7 as we possibly can. I don't expect to get this entire field done in this video. There's a minor bit missing, but that's fine. So, ooh, what the... Is there a field boundary issue with field 6 here? I would guess so. Let's buy field 6 as well. Don't have creative money on. Creative money. This is more of a let's test than a let's play. Just so everybody's aware. Because there will occasionally be things that I need to buy another field, and yep, okay. I will take note of that. Mentally at least. Actually, physically. There we go. I've literally taken a physical note of that in my little notepad with a pencil. Because, yes, I do have a notepad and pencil lying around very quickly, very within arm's reach. It's me, what do you expect? Now we are using the Quasar 16-row corn header today, because it harvests more corn for your corn. You get more corn out of this per pass than you would with a smaller header, obviously, because you're covering more ground. And one thing I would do if I were editing this map right now is I would put chop straw in. Not for any performance reason, just I like chop straw. I do have plans to get some new mods in. I do have an auto load semi-trailer now for the bales. It is over in the field with the bales in, the straw field. I'll be bringing that over to the cows, probably off camera, at some point. And getting some... I don't know how I'm going to get hay. I might have to install the buy bales mod. Short of the Keenan mixer wagon that I do have might still take straw or grass bales. And if it does, I'm gonna do a cheeky and break up some grass bales, ted them, and then turn them into hay bales. Which technically, yes, is cheating, but the fact that I had to reset the save game does kind of give me dispensation to flat out cheat things. Also the fact that I'm trying to test the map does give a bit of dispensation as well. And I am actually driving this perfectly straight down a line. This is a first for me. I know that I'm missing a bit of the edge, but I'm keeping the line here, and that's the important thing. This is an actually realistic looking corn harvest for once. It's a first on the channel. RainbowDave actually does something in a realistic manner. Although I have noticed the corn, this field seems to curve away from where I'm driving, so I will probably at some point do a U-E and I'll pull a U-turn and just fix up that edge, because that's going to annoy me otherwise. The OCD part of me is not pleased at all by what I've just done. But the same OCD part of me is very pleased indeed by the fact that I've just done a straight line. Is that is more or less perfectly straight the entire way across the field. Well done, Dave. Thank you, Dave. I've ruined it. Yeah. Typical Dave. Typical me. I do something right and then I go and turn around and it all goes wrong. I haven't flipped anything yet, so I guess I'm doing a bit better than usual. Even on the multiplayer I managed to flip everything. On the multiplayer server, the multiplayer series hasn't started yet, and we're still waiting on stuff for that. Me being me, I do have a cup of tea set in front of me. So, I am hydrated. I also have some chocolate raisins, which I love. Seriously, if ever anybody wants to send me snacks, chocolate raisins, yes please. But they have to be good raisins and it has to be good chocolate. Don't go sending me those weird wacko fake raisins from China. They have to be real raisins and real chocolate. None of this Chinese nonsense. But yeah. Half full, we're roughly halfway around the headland. Using 160 litres of fuel per hour. It's going to drop once we get into the crop, I hope. Yes. The engine's now running at a slightly lower RPM. 1,896 RPM to be exact. And can we do a straight line here? Is it worth doing a straight? No, it's not worth doing a straight line here because I'm noticing the field kind of... No, might be. Yeah, I'm just going to straight line it the rest of this way and see what happens. If I gotta pull another U-turn, I gotta pull another U-turn. 59, 60%. I think we're doing well. I think we are doing very well indeed. So this afternoon is going to be old streams, and I will say that series I'm going to be beginning the end today. Gonna have a bit of a storyline going to end that series off. I know it's supposed to have been roleplay the entire way through, but when you've got to do the same thing multiple times, it kind of loses the roleplay element. But I do have plans, and I do have plans in place for even the next map, where we're going to be going with that. It's just a case of waiting and getting that story to a somewhat natural conclusion before we move on to the new map for the roleplay. I've got stuck in a tree. I've properly got stuck in a tree. I have jammed my harvester into a tree. There is no way out of this tree. Also, I'm liking the fact that there's bits of detritus going into the header still. I have to admit, that's a nice little detail. Is there... I am free of the tree. That is wonderful. I do... those little bits of detritus, are they part of the... well, they are. They're part of the animation. Never noticed that before. That's a nice little bit of detail. The fact that they keep running, I don't know if that was a glitch or what it was, but I approve of that. Can I get away with just one headland on this field? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that's probably a dumb idea. 2 is probably going to be better. Just because it's a rather large field, and this is a rather large combine with a rather large header. It's going to need a reasonably sizable amount of room to turn. Now I will probably, because I had a little look-see, and don't worry, I am going somewhere with this. I'm not after changing my sentence midway through. I will probably do silage on field, I think it's 29. I'll probably bring the big X over with the corn header onto that field because the tip calls on the silage pits changed, and this is an interesting bit of information for Landy. Because the tip calls on the silage pit were changed and not, well, pretty much everywhere on the map changed, the game deleted the silage. All of the chaff and silage that was in there is now gone. So that is an interesting factoid, especially for those of you who are using modern maps that may or may not get updated to have new tip calls at some point. But if they change on the silage pits, your silage will be deleted. Usually if you change tip calls, that stays. Now, one thing I do want to do as quickly as I possibly can is get some cows, which is why I'm considering getting the buy bales mod. I am not a fan of it, but if needs be. How much goes hold? 23, 12, 330. That's a really odd number. So we need this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a pile in the field and figure a way to get it into a trailer from there. It'll probably be a wheel loader, depending on the amount of corn we have. Now Lancey has been told about the tip call issue in the grain yard, and I've explained to him why it's an issue. Because I know you guys are gonna, you know, you're gonna see that it's grain storage. You're gonna try and store the grain in every shed in the area, and you know that's somebody was gonna find that sooner or later. I'm glad it was me while the map's still in testing, and not somebody, you know, a month or two down the line when the map is out. That would have been a bit of a disaster. Now, I'm wondering, could I do pigs? I can't do pigs because the potatoes are gone. But I could do pigs because pig feed. That might be an idea, is pigs. So, let's... I'll hold off on that. Hold off on that idea for now. I want to, I do want to get 50 of every animal just to make sure this map will run properly. But I'm going to hold off on that until... to be quite honest, I'm probably going to run a full cycle of seasons with no crops in the fields just to get some grass together. That might be off camera, but I don't know. Because I do need to finish harvesting these crops, and because this is corn, it's something that I don't usually harvest. Even though I've done it a couple of times recently. It's something that I don't usually harvest. I figured it would be a good idea to bring you guys in for a video. I do need to play this a bit more off camera, but I am at the same time focusing on getting my own map worked on, getting some ideas from Thornton, and Selby as well for that matter. Just little things that are being done that I look at them and I say, oh, that's actually a really good idea, why didn't I think of that? So there are changes being made on the fly because my map is partially realistic, partially like based on the real area, and partially fictitious. I will have some fictitious stuff. One of the things that I'm going to put in is 100% fictitious, but I do like the idea of it. So it's going to be a thing. I have decided it to be so. I've even decided where exactly it's going to be. This area that I have decided. In the past 24 hours I've decided this. Because it is a good idea, and upon consultation with several people, come to the conclusion that it's something that I probably need to do. So let's get another good straight line going just by following the rows here, which is why I'm back in cab. And corn is a really nice crop to harvest because it does give you a visual indicator of whether or not you're going straight. especially the way the harvester works. And this is the way, this is actually the way you're supposed to do it. As stupid now as I am, I do know that you're supposed to keep the corn rows feeding into those teeth, and the kind of wedges on the front are just in case there's a plant slightly out of line, just to bump it in. You're not supposed to rely on the wedges. There we go. So up this way we go, and once again just plan for a straight line, mostly straight line. Screw it, I'm just gonna do a Dave line because I do. And once you get this headland done, I will just come up to the middle of the field and start using GPS, so I should have the space for it. As I just try and get a nice thumbnail taken here. And go completely out of whack because I was trying to take a thumbnail. But that picture could be a thumbnail. I won't say it should because I usually take a second or third picture later on that's better. It's the first screenshot of the day, so hopefully that's the one that's rusty. So I've noticed that the first one I take is usually the worst, and then they are up to a good par after that. For example, if I were to use the same kind of angle here, like this with a bit of corn kind of in front of it, that's definitely different. I'm apparently using GPS now, okay. The line was straight enough, I figured GPS was a good thing. And cruise control. So, that's that'll do. Let's take one from the front as well, just for the sake of it. Because you can never have too many pictures ready to potentially be thumbnails or stuff that goes up on Instagram. And as a matter of fact, I've unintentionally got this perfectly lined up so that it looks good. That I am shocked by that. I'm shocked by the fact that I managed to line this up actually right for once. We are not looking too full at the moment, but I'm going to get that back up. We're about 2/3 full, that's fine. This harvester is taking quite a lot of grain, which is always nice, and it's always nice to, and I do call it grain. I know some people call all grains corn and corn maize. I call all grain grain and corn grain. It just depends on, I guess, what you want to call it. And I know corn technically isn't a grain, so before anybody starts complaining, I know, I'm fully aware. But, you know, there's no harm in misidentifying it as a grain. Combine harvesters are for grain. I know there's not a whole lot of threshing going on. It's shucking, isn't it? You shuck corn out of the ears. Which just is a nonsense sentence. It really is. Hopefully we'll get another unload done. We should. We're at 80% now, coming up to it. And we've got quite a bit of this field done already. Considering this is just 20 minutes of sitting here watching the harvester go, for the most part, we've got a lot of this field done. And for those of you that watched the multiplayer over the weekend, specifically on Sunday, I hope you enjoyed the impromptu podcast thing that we all did. I was obviously in the RainbowDave room to try and organise the server in some way. Landy, Sim, Eddie, and Chris all descended, and then it just became TeamSpeak with me on an open mic. And VF descended as well. I forgot about VF. And VF Junior, one of VF's children, decided to make an appearance as well. But yeah, that was a really fun stream. It's one of the more fun streams I've done, I think. Complete with TomX55 having his own little rave in the chat for no reason whatsoever. I have no idea what he was doing, and I still don't. But by God, that was fun. And that's one of the reasons I love streaming is I can plan a video start to finish if I really wanted to. I don't like doing it, but I can. With a stream, it's just, especially with multiplayer, it's just, okay, here's what I hope will happen. And then it never does. Even the multiplayer of Simify, there were multiple occasions where we had gone into the recording saying, okay, we're going to do this today. We're definitely going to do this. Yeah, no. No. The one thing we wanted to do, that was never touched. I think there was one where we did emergency silage because we realised we couldn't use the silage clamps in Naveswell as an interim, and we just did a buttload of silage to compensate. And I had a silage session for no reason whatsoever, other than... Well, there was a reason. For the reason of we needed silage and we didn't have any. In the silage pit, at least. There we go. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to plonk this down in the field. I'm thinking over near the... I'm actually thinking around here would be a good place because it's... While, yes, it's a distance from the entrance, it is already harvested and we won't need to drive over it again. It's not ideal to leave it out in the field, but I don't plan on leaving it out here too long, and I'm hoping it doesn't rain. So let's get this dumped right here will do. Control-I. And of course this man truck is a bit wonky with tip anywhere. Whoa, stop. So I'm gonna try and tip the rear of it up like... Very gently now, just tip it up on top of the corner there like that. Control-I again. Hopefully we can start building some sort of ramp upwards of corn. There we go, that's a bit more rampy looking. And no, stop. I've got my man truck stuck. 4, 5, 6. I know what'll solve this. More corn on the ground. Actually, that might solve it. Because if I can build a secondary ramp behind this, we might be able to free the truck. We're not making any progress whatsoever. Okay. Backup plan. Backup plan. Backup plan. When in doubt, use the combine, because there is some corn left on the combine. Use the combine to create the ramp that you need. It's too close to the man. So hopefully this will create some form of ramp directly behind the truck. Failing that, we'll at least get the combine completely empty. Now the combine's decided it doesn't want empty anymore. Why has the combine decided it doesn't want empty anymore? If I can, oh, if I can get just over here like this and do this, that might just be enough to free the truck. Nope, okay, plan C. When in doubt, ramming speed. And alley whoop. Truck's free. The truck should be free now. Got 2 wheels on corn. No, what I did there was I instantly went into reverse and made it bad again. Oh, hang on. If I shed some weight, that might help. Holy... How did that actually work? That was meant to be a joke, okay. So apparently shedding weight to get out of this was the solution. And on that happy note, I'm going to leave it here for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Selby Farm Estates. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, stay safe and goodbye.